I'm Jim Rollins, Superintendent of the Springdale School System. Today we're really focused on the diversity in our district. More specifically, we're focused on how to serve our Marshallese students, how to build partnerships with Marshallese moms and dads and the community as a whole. We feel like we've learned some things. We know that there's so much more to learn about the culture, about school and how school can be made available to all children and to Marshallese moms and dads as well. So I have with me today a very special group of educators. In just a moment I'm going to introduce them or ask them to introduce themselves, and then we're just going to talk about those things that we've learned and things that we hope to put in place in the future to better serve our entire population. Ms. Lair, if you will, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do and things that you've learned as you've helped us lead this marvelous adventure to serve Marshallese children.
Wow, what I've learned is a long list. I'm Marcia Lair, and I work with the ESL department, and I work with school, family, community, partnership. I try and facilitate all those partnerships with our parents and community. What I've learned, wow. Probably one of the greatest takeaways that I have as being able to work with our Marshallese people is the kindness and the love for each other and the giving. Recently, some of our liaisons they've been meeting with students and asking them about their future. Every one of the students said, I don't think there was one that didn't, said that they want to be able to help their family. And that's the atmosphere that I get to live in on a daily basis with people who are kind and giving to one another. So that's just one of the many things that I've been able to enjoy, experience, and appreciate.
We just had a beautiful experience with student representatives from Springdale High School and HAR-BER High School. They couldn't have mirrored your comments any better. And to me, it just sends the message of how pervasive the caring piece is among the Marshallese families, among those who make up the Marshallese culture. And so thank you for opening our conversation today that way. Ms. Childress?
Yakwe Ete in Marybelle Childress, Principal Non-Monitor Elementary School. I have been a principal in Springdale for 20 years, and the last 18 have had the honor and privilege of serving Marshallese students and their families. I also had the great opportunity in the summers of 2005 and 2006 to travel to Majerot, Marshall Islands and teach summer school for Rita Elementary School. And so both my experiences here in Springdale working with Marshallese students and families and my experiences in Majerot have really helped me develop just a great love for our Marshallese community and a great passion for helping them to learn and grow, and also a great appreciation for their traditional values and those things that they hold close to their heart. And one thing that I've learned, and one thing that is so important to the faculty at Monitor Elementary School, is that everybody knows just how smart all of our Marshallese children are, how talented all of our Marshallese children are, what great character our Marshallese children have, and the opportunity and the obligation we have to help them develop at their fullest potential. And as part of my introduction, I have to read this letter that I brought Dr. Rollins. You know, we recently held student-led conferences.
That's right.
And so all of our families came and met with their students and heard about the the things that their students are learning and working on, and the ways that they're growing. And this is a letter that some of our Marshallese moms and dads, a Marshallese mom and dad wrote to their second grade child. And I think it just really speaks to the hopes and dreams that our parents have for their children. But it says, "You are our super girl. You make mommy and daddy really, really proud. We want you to keep up what you're doing and be nice to everyone, especially your teacher. Please study hard and listen to your teacher. Listen to every word she says. Love, mommy and daddy." And so we are just honored and privileged to have the opportunity to partner with these Marshallese parents and serve their children to the best of our ability.
Our district leader of our ELL program, our principal at Monterey Elementary, and now one of the great teachers in our district, Miss Julie Crane.
Hi, I'm Julie Crane. I have been working in Springdale this is my 17th year, so I've been able to serve our Marshallese families for that long, and I get to spend my day as an ESL specialist. I work with teachers, but the favorite part of my day is that I get to spend my time with students, and I get to build those relationships with the students and their families, both in school and outside of school. And I get to be privileged to some of those more intimate times where I've been to celebrations and been so welcomed by the community, and I just have learned so much from them, and been able to take that into the school system and use that as we work with our students and our families to help them achieve the ultimate thing that our families come here for, and that's to see their students thrive and find who they are and do what they love and be able to give back to their community. And we get to see that over and over and over again.
I know we're very focused on getting all of our children, each student, reading proficiently by the end of third grade. You want to speak to that reading program just a moment? Because again, I hope we share this information with our students and our families and the entire community. To talk about reading and what you're doing there to get our Marshallese children really reading on grade level.
Well, we have tremendous teachers that care so deeply for our children. And so before we can get them reading where they need to be, we have to build those relationships with them. And so when those students know that we love them and we care for them and their needs are met by in all the different ways that we're able to serve them, then we're able to get through to them on an academic level. And so we start by meeting all those needs first, and then we start with, we've increased the amount of reading time that our students have, but then we've taken it even further, and we're really individualizing these opportunities for our students. So when we know that we have a student that needs reading materials at their specific level, we are taking every necessary means to get them the resources that they need. We are giving them the extra if they need intervention, if they need an additional time reading, or if we need them to read with someone extra special. We just make all those opportunities so that it's very individualized.
Relationships. Robin, you're kind of a part of being the connector, connecting moms and dads and students to teachers and schools. You want to share your work, and again, thank you in advance for all you've already done.
Thanks, sir. Well, I'm Robin Loyak. I'm the Marshallese Community District Liaison for Springdale Public Schools. And I started my work around March this year, 2017, but within that short amount of time, I was able to learn a whole lot. And one of the main things that I've learned is that just like the parents, the kids had dreams before they got here, and now they still have those dreams in their minds. I've met with students, I've met with parents, I've met with staff in regards of what we can do for these students. And I noticed these students, they lack to share these dreams. I don't know if they're scared or anything, but they need to know that you have resources in the schools. I'm a resource. The student to your left and right is a resource. Your teacher is a resource. Everybody in the school is here to help you be successful and reach your dream. And don't be scared to share with anybody what you want to be in the future. Just like, share with your parents. I wanted to be an astronaut when I grew up. I wasn't scared to share it. But, these dreams can be achievable if only you put your heart and mind into it.
I have to play off that and take just a little liberty. I got a text message from one of our students at Lee Elementary just a few days ago. He said, I want to be the next superintendent of schools, just like Dr. Rollins. So it made my day, my week, and all along the way. Our kids are thinking careers. They are thinking careers.
Absolutely.
And when I spoke with our students earlier, each of them had an emerging game plan. So they've had great conversations with moms and dads, but they've had conversations with their teachers and their principals, and we're thinking together about, well, what do I need to do to be a successful teacher, or whatever that might be. Well, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Again, imagine, if you will, as we close this segment, let's say we've got 100 Marshallese children in front of us. What would your advice be to them?
Wow, I don't think I could top what Robin just said.
He did a great job, didn't he?
Oh, yes, and that as much as our students give to us, we want to give back to them, and we're here for them. And whatever we can do, we want to be able to do for them to help them reach their dreams.
Very nice.
And I would echo Robin as well. We want to know what our students' dreams are and how we can help them, how we can support them, what we can do. I had a great visit with a Marshallese fifth grader, a young lady, yesterday, and she brought me a handwritten plan for her future that she had done on her own that listed 3 goals that she had for her future, and one of her goals was to become a school counselor, and she talked about how our school counselor was a role model and a mentor for her. And so we are looking at opportunities for her to shadow our school counselor and spend more time talking about what it takes to be a school counselor, so she has a clear picture for that. And the other thing that I would tell, probably because I'm an elementary person, is we tell our students all the time, once a mallard, always a mallard. And so,
Quack, quack.
So it doesn't matter if you have gone to another school, or now you're in middle school or junior high or high school. We still love you and care about you and want to help you. So if there is ever anything that we can do for you, even once you have graduated and left our building, left our district, we will always be here for you. And I know every principal, every school would say the same thing, and you would too, Dr. Rollins. Once a Springdale school student, always a Springdale school student, and we'll do whatever we can.
Great. Ms. Green.
My advice would be to be fierce, to go after life with boldness, to not be held back, but don't let that fear hold you back, to ask questions, to seek out people who know more, who are wiser, and just learn from great leaders like Dr. Rollins and Ms. Childress.
Very kind. Rob, would you like to close this? I have one other question I want to ask, but I thought you have along that line. What would you say to the students?
If they were right in front of me, I would say, you can do it. If you wake up in the morning, always tell yourself, I can do it. And that's what pushed me through life. I used to be a student. I went through school just like you have, and I lived in a rough place. I went to school on Kwajalein, but I lived on Ebi, and Google, they don't. Google doesn't really say it like I remember it, but they say it's the slums of the Pacific, but that is my home. And I went through that. I went through that battle, and if I could go through that, you can go through anything. So you can do it.
Y'all are so special. I'm so appreciative of you sharing these sentiments with our students. We all know that we need moms and dads in the process. And we've made a lot of progress as a school district from the standpoint of inviting moms and dads from all backgrounds to come in and be partners with our teachers and principals. We are trying to open that door with our Marshallese community. We have talked among ourselves, maybe we could have a patron chef. And Mary, I'm going to let you start in just a moment, for our Marshallese students. Or maybe we could have a family literacy initiative for the Marshallese. What's your thinking about that? And again, if moms and dads are listening, and they will be listening, what would your message be to them from the standpoint of how to come and join us, and let's do this together and so forth?
I can say I am so proud. This first quarter of the school year, 24% of our parent volunteers are Marshall Islander parents. And so we know that parents do want to be involved in their child's schools. They just need to let us know how that is most convenient for them, how we can best make that happen. If you know, we want to meet with you, to visit with you, talk about how we can better serve your families. If the best way for us to do that is at your apartment complex or your church or your community, then, you know, don't be afraid to ask us to come there, to come to you. If it needs to be during the day at a school, if it needs to be at night or on the weekend, we want you to be involved. And if there is something we're doing that's a barrier or something we could do to make it easier, you know, let us know, because we're here for you.
We've talked throughout this segment of the program about the love that exists in the Marshallese community and how moms and dads, all the moms and dads of our Marshallese children, really want their children to be successful in school. Parents, your partnership with the schools are a big part of that opportunity. So just know that we welcome you, every teacher in the district, our liaisons, our leadership of our Marshallese community want to help you connect with the schools and be successful. Let's look together about how to do that in the days ahead. Thank you all for being part of this program today. Thank you.